people who couldn't join. All right. But here's another one. So we talked about, real estate prices go up 5% every year. So $500,000 house would be worth $525 next year. So if your buyer doesn't buy a house this year, it's going to be worth $525 next year. Interest rate is already super low. It's not going to go any lower, most likely. That means next year it'll only be higher. That means over 30 years, it's going to cost your buyer $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in additional money because of higher rate. Okay, well, what about the 1 year that they're going to live in the landlord's apartment? What about the rent for that? What is the rent? Let's say it's a 1-bedroom, $1,500. I will do the math for you. 1,500 times 12 is 18,000. So now price went up 25. Interest rate is going to cost you another $25,000 in the next 30 years. Plus, you just paid the landlord $18,000 more. Do you see where I'm going with this? Inaction is costing you money, buyers. Buy now, buy now, buy now. I can't stress it enough. Now, by the way, 5% is only 5% increases on a normal year to year. Since 2020 to 2021, real estate prices went up 20%. That means a $500,000 house in 2020 became $600,000 this year. And we all saw that. We all saw that. I don't care if you're in Yonkers or Long Island or the Bronx or Westchester. It doesn't matter where you are. A $500,000 house became $600,000 this year. You understand? So inaction is costing you money. You've got to take action. And buyers sometimes think that the agent's going to tell me to be flexible. I don't tell them to be flexible. What do I tell them? I tell them to be picky. Be picky. I want you to be picky, but be picky in the things that really matter, such as neighborhood. It's got to be the right neighborhood for you. What is right? That's for you to decide, right? Because what's right for you might be wrong for me, and what's wrong for me might be right for you. But it's got to be a right neighborhood for you. You've got to like the neighborhood. You've got to love the neighborhood. Next, parking. Parking, if it's needed. By the way, not everybody needs parking. Meaning, if you don't need parking, then that's not something you should worry about. But if you need parking, then be picky. And the last thing is number of bedrooms. If you need 3 bedrooms, go with 3 bedrooms. Don't go with 2. But the things don't matter, such as, like people sometimes from my background, they insist on a brick house. What difference does it make? What difference does it make if it's a brick house or not brick house? Can you tell if this house is brick or not? No, you can't. Again, if we, in 2009, there were lots of houses and nobody was buying houses. You guys, I don't know if you know that there were lots of houses and nobody was buying houses. At that time, you can have everything that you want. You can tell the seller to jump and the seller will jump. If you can tell the seller to dance and the seller will dance, you can have whatever you want. But in this day and age, when the houses are so limited, and if a brick or a non-brick house means the difference between you buying or not buying, then buy the house even if it's not a brick. Why? Because otherwise, your dream house will remain a dream house. It won't become a reality. Okay? So just kind of take this approach, guys, with your buyers. And as I was mentioning to Carmine earlier on the call, is if you have a particular buyer whose criteria is many and their choices are limited, bring them on Zoom and do the MLS search. Whether you're using Stratus or Matrix, doesn't matter, run the search. And what happens when you run the search? You have the results, right? And you can see 500 houses became 200 as soon as you put Long Island or Bronx. And now 200 houses became 100 as soon as you put 500,000 and minus below 500,000, right? And then 100 houses became 50 when you said 3 bedrooms or more, right? And then 50 houses became 20 when you said must have parking. Now you're left with 20. And by the way, you guys know that 20 houses doesn't mean you have 20 houses, because some of them have an accepted offer, no more showings. Some of them have all cash, no mortgage requirement. Some of them have bad tenant situation. So you don't actually have 20 choices, you have less than 20, correct? So do we really have room to be more picky about, hey, it must be brick? No, we don't, because we don't even have 10 houses left, and now you want it to be brick too? And you also want it fully detached? I understand that's your dream home, but you can't afford the dream home. Do 2 searches, guys. Do 2 searches. One search based on the price and the criteria, and then show them, look, this is where we ended up. We have no results. I want you to be picky about the brick and then the attached part. The other search you can do is, how many of you have seen, what is it, Property Brothers? Property Brothers. How many of you have seen Property Brothers, the 2 guys, the 2 brothers?
Yeah.
What do they do at the beginning of the show?
They show them a house they can't afford and they pick their likes and dislikes from it.
No, they don't show them a house that they don't afford. They don't show them a house they can't afford. They show them a house with everything that they want. It just happens that you can't afford it.
Exactly.
They don't take you to a house that you can't afford. They don't do that. That's not the purpose. They don't take you to a house on purpose that they can't afford. The person says, oh, I want a fireplace, and I want a jacuzzi, and I want like lake view and terrace and this, that, and the other. All right, let's go see a house. Here's a house that has everything that you want in it. Oh, by the way, it just happens to be out of your budget. You understand?
Yeah.
And then they take them to a house that's within their budget but doesn't have all the bells and whistles, and say, you know what? If you work with us and if you work with me, what I can do is I can get you some of those bells and whistles in there. Not everything. I can get you maybe a jacuzzi in there, but maybe not the fireplace. I can get you a balcony, but maybe not the lake view. I can get you some stuff in there. Which one do you want? Do you want the dream house? By the way, the dream house will remain a dream, because remember, you can't afford it, right? So do you want to keep dreaming about the dream house, or do you want to make a decent house your reality? Okay. And now if somebody says, nope, I must have everything. All right, no problem. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on I'm going to create a search for you. As soon as you have something, you'll get an email from me, and we'll go take a look at it. And then you kind of put them on a back burner, because you know it's not happening. Your title is realtor, not a magician. You're not going to make magic happen. You're not going to get them a $700,000 house with jacuzzi and balcony for their $500,000 pre-approval. You're not going to do that. You're not a magician. Do you understand that? You are a realtor. That means your job is to find them a decent house and negotiate a price in their best interest. But you're not going to bring a $700,000 house down to 5. You're not going to do that. But you don't want to tell them that. And you educate them. You educate them. You educate them. You educate them. If they still don't want to listen, you don't want to tell them, you know what? You're being unrealistic. You're crazy. Get out of my life. You don't want to say that. So you say, you know what? All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a search for you, and I'm going to put you on a search. As soon as a property comes in the market with all of this, I will email you, and then we'll go take a look at it. But you know in your mind that that's not going to happen. You understand? But majority of the people will understand what you're saying, and they will listen to you and say, okay, Wilson, okay, Mohammed, okay, Carmine, I see what you're saying. Let me be a little bit flexible by the brick or the attached or the jacuzzi. You can change an ugly wallpaper. You cannot change parking situation, or you can't change the neighborhood. You can't, have a different neighborhood tomorrow. That neighborhood will be quite similar for years to come, whatever that is. All right. So be picky about the things that cannot be changed, but be a little bit flexible about the things that cannot be, that could be changed, such as the walls, the floors, the things. You understand? All right, today's topic really was supposed to be and is supposed to be about how to come up with an offer price, based on comparables, and also then how to type up an offer and then how to present an offer. Okay, so let's go ahead and share my screen and we're going to take a look at the local MLS and we'll go from there. Okay, so this is the MLS. We use Matrix. Long Island people use Stratus. Same difference. It doesn't really matter. A horse and a donkey is almost the same thing. Okay, really, it's not that big of a difference. A horse and a donkey are almost the same. All right, give me a second. This is an important call. 1 second. All right. When your favorite attorney calls you from her cell phone at 6:30, you pick up, right? So that's what I had to do. All right, you guys are still with me? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So look,
Yes.
all right, let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at, what am I thinking about? So you have a buyer, they like the property. Mohammed, you have a property in mind? You want to share an address with me? Oh, you're muted.
Yes, it is 341
Okay.
New Highway, Amityville.
Okay, so look, your buyer, your buyer likes a property, your buyer likes a house, and they want to make an offer. You don't ask the buyer how much you want to make an offer. You're going to lose credibility. They're not going to take you very seriously from then on. You don't tell the buyer what to offer either. They're not going to take you very seriously because they're going to feel that Muhammad's just trying to close the deal, trying to get his sale going and trying to get his commission going. Rather, you show them numbers and data and statistics and science, because these things don't lie, right? So you say, hey, look, based on area sales, this is what your house is worth. How do you do that? And we just did this like a few days ago, a couple of weeks ago, I think we did this Zoom. You go to the MLS and you search for a similar type of property. It's a single family, Mohammed?
Yes.
All right, keep your mic on. So single family, you go to quick, and then here you put in the radius. I'm going to start with a half a mile. Give me the address,
341 New Highway.
New Highway. And as you start to type it, it should give you suggestion right there, Amityville, right? And then look, there's 5 houses. We've made 2 choices. We have made 3 choices so far. We are looking at all the single families, all the active ones, all within a half a mile. We've got 5 choices. We don't want just active, we also want sold. So we're going to select sold. Now we have 9 choices. I haven't been to this house and I don't know much about the house. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the results and see if I can find the 341 New Highway. You should already know how many bedrooms and bathrooms and square footage it has. I don't. That's why I came here. You see that?
Yes.
But you should already know that. But look, I go here and wow, that's a really nice looking house, right? The curb appeal right there just jumps at me. The color scheme is really nice. I love this porch. I love the grass. I like the brand new turf there. The garage door, everything looks brand new, and it is a brand new construction, I believe, right? You said? Yeah, look at this fence. I mean, everything is so beautiful. Look at the size of the yard, right? Really nice, really nice. I like it. Oh, I love the floors. I like the wall, the windows. I love this no picture also. I like the fireplace. I love it, right? So it's a beautiful house, basically. Open concept. You've got kitchen, you've got an island and a peninsula. Like, that's amazing, right? This is called an island because it's standing free. This is called a peninsula because it's attached to something, like India. India is attached to Asia, so India is not an island. India is a peninsula, right? So you've got to understand this vocabulary. This, I don't know what this is called. Obviously, it adds character to the property, using moldings and stuff like that. I don't know the exact wording for it. I'm trying to think of it right now, but anyway, recessed lights. All of this, by the way, costs money, time, and effort, right? And it doesn't cost a whole lot of money, but there's a difference between done and not done. And this one is done, and it looks really nice, right? Same thing here. Look, this is, I think, called like a rail mold, chair railing or chair molding or something. It separates the top sheetrock with the bottom portion with this molding. Looks really nice. All right, look, here's the bathroom. You have top to bottom tile work or stone work here. You've got a his and her sink. Okay. You can call it a dual sink also. Some people prefer not to call it a his and her sink these days because of diversity and inclusion, because not every family has a his and a her. Sometimes there's a his and a his, sometimes there's a her and a her, or whatever, right? So anyway, so you can call it a dual sink or whatever you want to call it. And looks like there's a stand-up shower, but there's also a jacuzzi here or a tub. And the stand-up shower actually has a bench. You see how much detail I can pick up without even going to the house, right? You've got to be able to look at pictures like this. Look at, these are called subway tiles, right? You've got a really nice modern finishes. You've got these straight lines. So you've got to pick up on these details like this. What else do you guys pick up from this photo? Who can pick up something new that I haven't shared with, talked about so far?
The big windows.
The windows, the flooring is nice, the molding, whatever. What kind of heating does this house have? Do we know?
Central.
Central, how do we know that? Look, right in the ceiling. You've got to pick up details like this from photos. You don't see a radiator down on the floor. You don't see baseboard. You don't see those old cast iron radiators and so forth, okay? Basement, it's a shell, but it's easily finishable. You need sheetrock, you need some flooring, you need some sheetrock on the walls, but it's a nice spacious basement. And what I like about this basement is the staircase is all the way in one side. Sometimes it's in the middle and it kind of like breaks up the basement, right? But this one, one thing I don't know, and maybe I don't think it does, I don't think there's access to the outside from the basement. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. So anyways, so now that we know what this house has to offer, 2,200 square feet, year built, 2021, you cannot beat that, guys. This house is not going to have big problems for the next 20 years. Yes, light bulb might be, going out of commission, or the sink might be leaking, but you're not going to have big problems for the next 20 years. So that's really, really attractive. And you have to know this, you have to understand this, because now you're going to be comparing it. But so let's kind of figure out, look, this is a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom. There's like very few houses with 4 bedrooms, but here's one 4-bedroom, and here's one 4-bedroom. You've got to make sure that they're in the same town. This is in Lindenhurst. I don't know Amityville, and I don't know Lindenhurst. But chances are they're 2 different towns. They're meaning they have a different feel. They have different school district. They have different school qualities. They have different look and feel, right? Different taxes. So you can't really just use this Lindenhurst property for your comparison. But let's also go back here, and let's look at some pending. We got 14 now, so let's go back here.
Should we increase miles from 0.5 to 1 mile?
We sure can. Just make sure that you focus on the town, because we don't want to go to other towns.
Yes.
For example, I'm in the Bronx, and if I do and let's say I'm running a comp in the area where Levon lives, and I choose my radius to be a half a mile or 1 mile. Well, in 1 mile from Levon's house, you're gonna have Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon is an entirely different place than the Bronx. Bronx, you have 5,000, 6,000 taxes. Mount Vernon, you have 15,000 taxes. And it doesn't mean the schools are any better, by the way, in Mount Vernon. You understand? In fact, people would probably prefer to live in the Bronx, maybe compared to some of Mount Vernon. I don't know. So you can't just pick half a mile and whatever. You've also got to be mindful of the town. If you want to do that, you can take a manual approach and just take a manual look at it, or you can just limit it right here to say, hey, yes, I want 1 mile, but yes, I also want it to be limited to just Amityville, right? So let's see what that did. So now look, we got only Amityville and we've got 1 mile radius. But if you look at it, the school districts are different. Copiag versus Farmingdale versus Amityville. Where is our 341? Where is that? 341 happens to be in Copiag School District. Maybe it matters, I don't know, right? But nonetheless, here's a Amityville house, okay? For some reason, a lot of these houses, we don't have square footage, and it's not because the agent didn't put it, it's because how many of you have taken new member orientation, the MLS orientation, those, especially those who are new agents like Carmine, Muhammad?
Yes.
How many of you, huh?
Yes.
You took yours. Muhammad, have you taken a new, yeah, you have. Okay, so when you take your new member orientation, they will explain to you the difference between matrix and stratus. These two MLSs, Bronx, Westchester, and Rockland and Putnam counties merged with Queens and Long Island 1 year ago. We were actually two separate organizations, but 1 year ago we merged together and we formed one key MLS. But Long Island people use Stratus, and Long Island has 30,000 realtors under a Long Island MLS, and we have 13,000 realtors using Matrix. And it would have been a lot of work to tell all these agents, hey, you're going to be using a new program now.
Yes.
So what the leadership did was they said, you know what, we're not going to make people learn new software and use new software. We'll let them keep using their own software. We will let the two systems talk to each other every 15 minutes. So if Muhammad puts a new listing in his MLS tomorrow at 9 o'clock, we will be able to see that listing at 9:15 in the Bronx and Westchester in Matrix. And if I update my price, or if I update my photos on my listing at 10 o'clock, you will be able to see that at 10:15 because the systems talk to each other every 15 minutes. But because the systems talk to each other, some of the information may not always be right or not right, may not be imported properly. And I guess the technical department needs to be told about this. Like, look, this one, we have no square footage. This one, we have no square footage. It doesn't mean the agent didn't put the square footage. For some reason, that information never came to me. I have a good feeling if Muhammad goes and looks up 27 Sunshine Lane on his side, I'm sure there's square footage right there. You understand? It's just that I'm not given that information because the system is not importing data properly. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. So I'm just gonna have to work with this, but this is not a really common problem for me because I don't really run comps for Long Island properties so often. But this is just for conversation purposes. But you have to do the best that you can with what you've got. I don't have square footage. What do? Well, do the best that I can. I'm gonna rely on the bedrooms and bathrooms. Let's focus on the bedrooms and bathrooms. Give me a second. So we know that our subject property has 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. Let's look for other 4s and 3. Here's a 4 bedroom. Don't even focus on the bathroom just now. Just focus on the bedrooms for now. Hey. Here is another 4. Here is another 4. Okay. That's really all I have, and I don't really have a whole lot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be a little bit more flexible, and I'll go to the 5 as well, just to be on the safe side for now. Here's another 5. Here's another 5. And then here's another 5. Okay, and then when I feel that I have accomplished pretty much all of it, I'm gonna go with this one too. The reason I'm gonna go with this one, even though it's a 6-bedroom, is based on the square footage. And because it's a 2,000 square feet, which is close to 2,200, I'm gonna go with this one. But on the same token, I may or may not want to keep this one because this is 2,700 square feet, lots of square feet. So I'm going to take this one out. Make sense? All right. When I feel that I have pretty much done what I wanted to do, I go here to refine and I go to narrow. Okay. Now I'm left with this one. All right. Give me a second. All right, guys. So now let's take a look at this. So as you can see, we have 2 active properties, 599 and 479. I mean, talk about like a range, right? That's quite a different range because this 479 is so far away, but also because it's a different school district, I'm gonna get rid of that one. It's an entirely different school district. All right, let's look at the next one. This one is 700. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. My guess is it's probably more square feet. We don't know because it's not available to us, but we'll leave that for now. Here's the next one, 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, same town, same school district. We'll keep that one. Here's another one, 549, 6 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, similar square feet, same school, same town. 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, prices. So this was an anomaly, 479, and I got rid of it. What's going on with this one? Like, why is this guy so far out there? Don't send anomalies to your buyer, okay? Don't send these outliers to your buyer, because then what your buyer is gonna do is your buyer's gonna grab onto that one. So, oh, look, this one is 350. That means you've got to make an offer for 350 for me.
Yeah.
You understand? They're not going to go with this one. They're not going to go with the fact that there's a 700,000 one also. They're not going to go with that one. They're going to go with the lowest one. So, but if you want to know why this one is 350, click on it and let's look at it. Okay? Short sale. Okay, subject to bank approval, cash only, sold occupied. That means they're not even gonna deliver it vacant. There's people in there that don't wanna leave. Well, there you go. It's not a normal sale. You get rid of it. How do you get rid of it? Uncheck it. Here's another one for 420. Let's click on it to find out what's going on. Okay. One picture is often an indication that there's something not right. Okay, one picture. But also, no comments, nothing. I have a feeling that this is like a short sale. Maybe it's a bad tenant situation, whatever. And then the price
It's low.
is way too low. It's way out there. That means I'm gonna get rid of it. And how do we get rid of it? You uncheck the ones you don't want and then click on narrow. Okay, now we are left with this one. Look, unfortunately, we don't have any active ones left except for the one that's subject property. Under pending, we have 549 and we have 700. Okay, and then under sold, we have 1. Unfortunately, we don't have square footage, and you have to do the best that you can with what you've got. You can actually get some more information, hopefully. Let's click on this. You see these little symbols on the top? This is photos, this is map, this is history, but then here is the tax record for this property, TX tax. Click on it, and it probably will give us more information such as square footage. So you have to do a little bit more legwork, but you know, why not? Okay, look, here we are here now. And where's the square footage? Right here, what is this? Do I have square footage? Building square feet, 2990, you see that?
Mhm.
And how much is the price? Who remembers the price for this one?
700.
700. Now you see why 700?
Yeah.
It is 700 more square feet than our subject property. Look, it's 700, but it's actually 800 square feet or 700 square feet more than the subject property. Of course. All right, let's take a look at this one. 12 Hicks Street. The system did not give me square footage because of the system glitch, but I also know I can go to tax record and see if I can get some more information. Okay. Where is it? Where is it? Is it here? Is it there? Where is it?
I think it's down. Right
Okay.
there.
1 second. Oh yeah, I see him down here somewhere, maybe.
Yeah.
2,700 square feet. So not bad. It actually has a lot of square feet for that price. Well, let's take a look at it. First of all, what are we looking at? Year built is 2003. 2003 is not 2021. That means this house is 17 years old compared to the one that we are looking at. Condition is not bad. Okay, you do have that molding on the wall that we talked about. You do have some nice looking floors and French door and all that stuff. You know, this flooring is probably a little bit outdated. You know, this is not what somebody would put in 2020, but you know, that's what it was 20 years ago. Okay, but it's certainly a nice looking house, right? The other thing that we didn't talk about is not only the square footage, but also the yard size. Look, this one is 0.17 acre, right? What about ours? Ours is 0.11 acre. This one is 0.17 acre. Look, the $700,000 house had 700 square feet more, but has double the yard, 0.22 acre. This one is 0.10 acre, so it actually has less yard than our tiny little bit less, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at it. In terms of the photos, this is what, from 1950, 1976, okay? So this is 1976. Solar panels, first of all, this picture is giving me anxiety because it's sideways. Solar panels, plus or minus to the value?
Plus.
So if a house has solar panels, is that a plus, more value to the house, or less value to the house?
I believe more value to the house.
More value.
More value, okay,
Oh, yeah. You save on energy.
correct, right. But go on any real estate Facebook group and look up solar panel conversations. In fact, if you're in the same Facebook groups that I am in terms of real estate, and if there was a question like, hey, solar panels add value or remove value, and there were lots of agents, but there were lots of appraisers chiming in, the answer is solar panels don't add value to it. In fact,
Really?
they're actually a problem.
Wow.
Wow.
If they are leased, they're a problem.
Yeah. If
Because
they're-
now we got to convince the buyer to take over this lease.
Mhm.
My sister bought a house with solar panels on top of the house, and it was a leased system, and she had to go through a credit check, and then she had to also mentally prepare that now she's going to be paying a $290 bill to the solar panel company every month for this. Solar panels don't add value to the house for your buyer unless it's completely paid off. So unless the owner bought the system completely and now they're selling the system with the house free and clear, if it's a lease system, it's going to add negative value to the property. And ask an appraiser. I would say 8 out of 10 appraisers will say something similar. Solar panels in terms of technology is just not there yet, meaning the money is going to cost you the $15,000 or the $20,000 that you're going to spend to get the solar panels. The monthly savings is just not there. But as more and more people buy solar panels, the technology will become cheaper, so that when I buy it or you buy it, it'll be worth it because now there's so many people bought it that it became quite cheap.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yes.
But if they are paid off, it's considered added value.
If they are paid off, then I would think that it's an added value.
Okay.
Of course, with a paid off
If included
system,
with the house.
exactly. If it's a
Okay,
paid
thank
off
you.
system, then it adds value to the house. But of course, then you have to have the concern about maintenance also, because remember, a leased one is maintained by the leasing company,
Yeah.
but a paid off one is your responsibility to maintain it.
But at least it's an extra bill because you got, like you said, you got to pay them.
That's right.
Yeah. I
So
got it.
that's because there's oh my God, I keep going through the same 3 pictures. I didn't realize it. I'm like,
Yeah.
why is it the same? I thought it was like 30, 40 pictures, but you know, first few were like the similar one. Okay. All offers accompanied with pre-approval, taxes, age of property deemed accurate, not guaranteed, no offer considered accepted, first open house, sold as is. It doesn't really tell me anything good or bad, doesn't really tell me anything. All right. Now, the last one, this one actually sold for $540. What is the lot size for this one compared to our subject property? This one is a lot of 2.27, so lots of lot size, lots of yard compared to ours, right? But let's look at the other stuff. One photo, well, that's a giveaway that there's something not right, correct? But let's take a look at what else. 1965. Okay, what else? It doesn't really tell me that the house is in a bad condition or if there's a bad tenant or what this or what that. It doesn't tell me anything. The only other thing I can look for is the square footage and not the map.
And this is gas, and the other one is, I mean, this is oil, and the other one is gas.
That's right. You do want to focus on oil or gas. Oil will have less value than gas. You do want to focus. You don't want your buyer to be picky about brick or non-brick in terms of selecting a house, but you do want to focus on whether a house is brick or not brick when you are coming up value of a house, because a house with brick will be worth more, will be valued more. But does that mean your buyer shouldn't buy a house that's not brick? No, if you can't afford a brick house, well then buy a freaking house. Because a brick house is not going to have a real effect on your life, such as a parking would. You understand? But yes, you should focus on brick or non-brick when it comes to looking at the value of a house, but your buyer shouldn't be stuck on a brick or non-brick, especially if they can't afford a brick house. All right, here's the lot size. Look, I mean, the square footage, it's a smaller house than ours, 1636. Okay, so the lot is bigger. So the lot is bigger, but the thing is smaller. The house itself is smaller. And it is actually, how many? It's actually 600 square feet smaller, 600 or more. Yeah, roughly 600 square feet smaller. So we're gonna take this one out too. Okay, now we're only left with these guys. Okay. We're only left with these. And let's take this one out too. Why do we want to take this one out? This one, the one with the $700,000. Of course, the price is a lot, but we also know that it has 700 square feet more, correct?
Yeah.
We
Yes.
also know that it's double the lot size.
Yeah.
We also know that the taxes are quite high, which is a negative thing for this house, right? It's 15,000 taxes, whereas this one is 13,000.
Mhm.
So for those reasons, I'm gonna take out this one as well. Well, now we're left with only two, and both of them happen to be 549. Okay? And this, so this one is 549, this one is 549. This one is 599. This one has more bedrooms and more bathroom. This one has more bedrooms, but not quite the same bathroom, but it has a very similar square footage. It has similar yard size. It has much lower taxes, but then this one is higher, similar taxes to our subject property. Basically, what we are now basically arriving at, the conclusion is that these houses are roughly around 549. That means our subject property is worth roughly around 549, plus some conversation we need to have. Is that right?
Yeah, I would say that, it's there's a new construction and the other house, they are old construction, the others.
Right, so for now, we can agree that our subject property is most likely 549 plus ... correct?
Yes.
All right, so then now I can say, all right, you know what, this property is probably worth 549, but we also have to take into account the fact that it's a brand new construction, it's brand new. Nobody has lived in this house, 0 persons. So we have to add value to that. I'm not an appraiser, I'm a real estate agent, and I have some knowledge and some experience. So based on that, I don't know, should I add 2,000? Should I add 20,000? Should I add 40,000? Should we add 80,000? Should we add 150,000? What should we add? Just from our novice experience, we are not appraisers. We have very limited experience and knowledge, right, about appraisals and
Mhm.
value. But what number would you assign? What number would you assign if you were to assign a number to a new construction? How much more would you add to the value? Would you add 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, 80,000, 100,000? What would you add?
In my opinion, I think 599 is a reasonable price, but
So you would add $50,000 basically.
yes.
Okay, who else? Anybody, let's say you're buying this house, you're the buyer. What would you add? You
I
notice
think it
that,
depends on the materials that were used.
well, I mean, look, we have the pictures to go with, right? You saw the
Right.
pictures.
I don't think it's unreasonable.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you also agree
I
that,
will add 40. I will add 40.
all right, so you would make an offer for 590 and the other
Yeah.
two would make an offer for 599 asking price. Yeah,
I mean, buyer, I
Huh?
would go with 580.
Okay, that's fine. 580, 590, 599, that's all
Yeah.
good. And then you also have, remember those other ... right? The other ... are other things that you have to take into account. For example, how many days in the market is this house? Listed 2 days ago. Do you really want to play gamble with the house that was listed 2 days ago?
No.
Okay, and here's I'm gonna share my my calculator. Hold on a second, I gotta get out of here, and I gotta say new share. and share this. You guys see this calculator?
Yes.
Let's say your buyer says, Wilson, we like this house, we love this house, but go ahead and offer $590, $10,000 less. I always tell my buyers, hey, $10,000 is a lot of money. I know you work very hard. I work very hard. $10,000 is a lot of money. But when we are talking about $599, $10,000 is a small little thing. Okay. Also, by the way, do you know how much $10,000 is on your monthly bill? No, you don't know? Let's go ahead and take 10,000 and divide it by 30 years. How do you divide it by 30 years? How many months in 30 years, guys?
30 multiplied by 12.
30 times 12, yes. Or 12 times 3 is what?
360.
That's right. 12 times 3 is 36. So in 30 years, there are 360 months.
Yes.
$10,000 is a lot of money for me and you. But if you take $10,000, if you pay $10,000 extra to the seller, how much more will you pay? $27. Will you be okay losing this house because of $27 a month? Carmine wanted to make an offer for $580, so that's $20,000. Well, let's just multiply 27 times 2, that's $55. Or you can take $20,000 and divide it by, again, 360 months in a mortgage, $55. Now you got to say, hey, buyer, will you be okay if you lose this deal because of $55 a month? Especially if the house has been in the market only 2 days. Do you see this?
Yes.
So that's kind of how you, all right, so let's go back here. So you email this to the buyers. And then, let me see if I can find an email and show you. Okay, so here's an email I sent to one of my clients. Okay, and let me see if I can zoom in. Okay, it was good to see you today. Here are the comparable houses similar to blah, blah, blah Avenue. As a reminder, 235 Ellis Avenue is a single family, fully attached house with 3 beds, 1 bath, 1.5 baths, parking, unfinished basement, and gas heating. The attached list is of houses all within 1 mile, all single family, all of them attached, all with parking and basement, and all with 3 bedrooms. You see how apple to apple to apple I'm getting, like very similar? Right? Imagine I come to you guys. Imagine you go to your family and you got a great deal on your phone, right? And you go to your family all excited. Hey, look, I got the iPhone 10 for $500. I got this amazing deal. And then you're one of the crazy person in your family is like, what? I got a phone the other day for $50. Okay, but what phone? Oh, it was a Kyocera or something. It was a flip phone or something. Well, that's not an apple to apple comparison. You understand? You're trying to take my excitement away from the fact that I bought my iPhone 10 for $500 by telling me you bought a phone for $50? How is that a comparison? So when you send comparables to your buyer, you've got to make sure that they're very, very comparable. Comparable is the right way to pronounce it, comparable. But it's comparable houses, basically. This means that we are looking at very accurate comparison in geography and time frame. Oh, and then here's a line that I missed. The sold houses, hold on. There are some active for sale houses and there are some sold houses. The sold houses all sold in the last 6 months. This means that we are looking at very accurate comparison in geography as well as time frame. As you can see from the list, in the active houses, the lowest price house that is for sale is for $515. Condition is better, but it has no parking. And asking for $515. Again, this is the lowest one for sale. In the sold properties, you can see the lowest sold house sold for $505 and $500. Two houses sold for $505 and $500. The one that sold for $505, which is 1010 Balcom, is in a very similar condition to the one we have at 2352 Ellis. However, Balcom has a walkout basement. The one that sold for $500 is 2218 Seward Avenue, and is similar to 2352 Ellis in terms of fully attached and underground basement that does not have a separate entrance. However, it does have better condition than Ellis. Given all these facts, given the situation of the market and amount of activity you saw today at the house, it is my professional opinion that the house at Ellis will sell between $480 and $510. If you'd like to make an offer, kindly reply back to me and let me know what amount you want to offer and how much down payment you want to make. Thanks. Okay. And there was a list attached to it and so forth. By the way, I'd like to see if, and this was, by the way, many months ago made, right? I'd like to see if this house sold, and I'd like to see how much it sold for now. You see my suggestion here, right? I don't know how true it is. I don't know how good it is, but let's take a look. This would be a nice test. 2352 Ellis. 2352 Ellis. Whew. It sold, and it sold for $550. It sold for a lot more than I had even predicted. Look at the asking price, guys.
Wow.
It was asking for $425. I told them to offer $480 to $510. Yes, we made an offer close to that. I don't know. Let me check my offer. Offer Ellis. Here. Exciting offer for Ellis. Oh, that's the next step that we're going to go to, by the way, how to make an offer, right? But here's the offer. My buyer actually offered more. Well, not more than what I told them. I told them $480 to $510. They decided to go somewhere in the middle at $500. The house actually sold for $550. Guys, asking price should not matter. Don't focus on the asking price. Focus on the market price. If you focus on the asking price, you're either going to not get the house or you're going to overpay for the house, which can come to bite later on when the appraiser does an appraisal, okay? So don't focus on the asking price, offer on the market value. All right, next topic. So you guys are clear about how to come up with an offer price. You guys should also be clear about what kind of email to write to the buyer. This is the kind of email you should write to your buyer, explaining to them the comps and why they should make an offer that you are telling them to make. Showing them the list, the list of properties, okay?
So Ishu, from what you saw, what would you want your buyers to offer for that property?
I would offer $599. I would offer $599, but I would offer asking price $600,000.
Okay.
If they say let's offer $580, tell them the house in the market for 2 days. You know, it has a lot of activity. Secondly, you may be able to get it for $580. You may be able to get $590, or you may not be. But are you willing to take that chance? Are you willing to risk that house because of $27 a month? If you lose this house, it's because of $27 a month. Will you be okay with that?
It will end up selling for around 520 to around 520.
520 or 620?
I mean 620. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't be surprised if it sells for more. I think it's going to sell for more than $599. I think it's going to go sell for $620. You're right. But it's a matter of telling the buyer to say, hey, make it. And by the way, can you imagine me going back to my buyer and say, hey buyer, this house is 425, but I want you to offer 510. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
And this is a Desi buyer. This is a buyer from my background, and that's a tough sell. To go back to my people and say, hey, they're asking for 425, but I want you to offer 500. That's a tough sell. But you know what? There was a 30-minute line out. This was an open house that we went to, and there was a 30-minute line outside the open house. There were 50 people in the line. And so you know what I did with that 30 minutes? I educated them about not focusing on the asking price. I told them the asking price is a trick. I told them different ways. I told them the same story different ways. Don't worry about 425. That's a trick.
Yeah.
And so I had a half an hour to educate him. So when I finally sent him comp, he saw it and he understood and said, yes, let's offer 500. We still didn't get it. In fact, I was quite off. And of course, that's just the nature of the market. The market is where it is, right? So, but it was a big deal for me to convince my South Asian buyers to offer 510 on a 425 house. You understand? That's a very tough sell, but they agreed and they listened and we made an offer. We still didn't get the offer. Nonetheless, this is how you run search. This is how you send an email to your buyers telling them what to offer, how to offer. Once they say, yes, let's do it, now it's time to make an offer. So you go to the offer sheet, which is here in your Trello, under documents, under offer and memo sheet. It's right here. It's going to open up a Google Doc.
Can you share your screen so I can see it, Ish, please?
You can't see the share? No? Okay. Okay, here, can you see it?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, this is Trello. You should have access to it from me or Rummy, depending on whose team you're on, but you should have access to Trello. And then in Trello, you have this place called Documents. And under Documents, you have offer and memo sheet. You have buyer docs, seller docs, rental docs, offer and rental referral agreement. This is what the offer sheet looks like. You click on Open with Google Docs. Don't use the template. Okay, don't use the template. In fact, I'm going to call it template. Don't use the template. Go to File, make a copy like this, and then press OK. Close the template. Remember, the template is still open. Close the template, and you're going to work only on the copy. Okay. That doesn't look right to me anymore. It got all mumble jumbled, so we're gonna have to hold on.
What I do also, I download it to my computer. So
Okay, so and we may just have to do that as well. Let's go ahead and download, and then let's see if I can. And then okay, I'll use it as a PDF. So download it, and now you can fill it in. Okay, so offer date, so September 15, 2021, buyer name, Joe, buyer address, seller name, property address, offer as per MLS number, so put the MLS ID number. Guys, fill out, these boxes are not optional, so don't leave them empty. If you don't know, ask, say, hey, where do I get this information? But it's not optional. Fill it in, okay? Because look, here's the seller's name. Owner's name is GNR Building. It's a company, okay? So here's the seller's name. Property address, that's pretty self-explanatory. What type of property is this? Residential, commercial, or land? Okay. Distressed. Here, if it's a short sale, put a short sale. If it's a REO, put REO. If it's not neither, just put conventional. That means it's a normal sale. It's not distressed. Distress means that the seller is under stress. You guys understand that? The seller is under stress. That means that it's been foreclosed or it's a short sale. If it's neither one, then choose conventional. Agency, whose agent are you? Buyer, seller, or broker? What type of offer is this? Cash, conventional, FHA, or VA? Very simple stuff. Okay, offer price. Let's say Mohammed is offering 620. He's gonna put 620 here. Deposit on contract, cash at closing. Let's imagine Mohammed's buyer is putting $100,000 down payment. What do you think we should do with this $100,000? Deposit a contract? Come on, quickly, guys. We're running out of time, and I want to make sure that we keep this moving.
Yes.
So- yeah, sorry.
Yes, deposit on contract.
Okay.
No.
No, we don't want to send $100,000 right away. Your buyer's money looks best in their own bank account.
You,
You break it down, you break
Break
it
it
up
down.
between two. You send some money at contract signing, you pay the rest of the money at closing. That's why
Yeah.
there's two boxes, cash at contract and cash at closing. See, there's two
Mhm.
boxes.
Yeah.
If your buyer is only putting $15,000 down payment, well, all 15 will go here because it's very little. It doesn't make sense to say, well, we're gonna send 3,000 now, we're gonna send 12,000 later. It's not enough meat on the bone. There's gotta be enough meat on the bone. There's gotta be enough interest, right?
yeah,
Enough excitement, I should say, right? There should be enough to excite you, the seller, right? So if your buyer's only putting $20,000, only putting 10,000, only putting 15, well, then put the whole thing. And then zero goes here. But if your buyer is putting $100,000, then there's no point in risking or sending all $100,000 out of your buyer's bank account right now. The standard in the New York market is around 5%. So 5% of 620 is 30 plus 4. So let's say 34,000. Okay? You can round it off. You can go for 20. But again, if it's not enough excitement, they might not even take your offer. Here's an example. Let's imagine they got two offers. Both of them are 620. Both of them 620. But one of them is putting $40,000 down now, and the other one is putting 15 down right now. Well, the seller's going to take the one with the 40. So it's you want to limit the money, but you also don't want to limit it so much that it's not exciting. All right, so let's imagine your buyer sending 40 now. That'll mean 80,000 here. You guys follow?
yes,
Okay, what number goes here? Hold on a second. No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it easy for you. Hold on. So 20,000 goes at contract signing, 80,000 goes at closing. What goes here?
520.
20,
520 is the correct number. I have seen some agents do this, 3.5%, like instant interest rate. I have seen some agents do this, 2717, meaning that's going to be like the monthly. They're not asking about the monthly. They're asking you to do simple math. That means total minus deposit, balance left for mortgage company. Make sense?
yes,
Okay, what is this offer contingent upon? What is this dependent upon? Mortgage approval. Make sure you check it off if your guy needs a mortgage, right? If your buyer does not need mortgage, meaning they're gonna pay cash, don't check it off, okay? Inspection, is your buyer going to do inspection or they're gonna skip it? Is this a short sale approval? If it's not, leave it alone. Are you buying the house? Is your buyer buying the house as is? If yes, do it. Otherwise, don't do it. Clear title should certainly be checked off on 99% of the deals. You want a clear title. You understand? That means a title is a legal document. That means it has no legal problems, open permits, tickets, violations, and so forth. Okay? So don't forget to check that, unless your buyer is like an investor and they're buying a house with lots and lots of problems, including title problems. That's a different story. Make sense?
Yeah.
Clear title should be checked off on pretty much every offer. CO in place, I mean certificate of occupancy is in place. You should be checking that off on pretty much every offer. Vacant on title should be checked off if your buyer is buying a house vacant. If your buyer is buying a house with a tenant, then don't check it off. If your buyer is buying a house where one floor will be vacant and one floor will not be vacant, I would say check it off and then type it here. First floor will be delivered vacant.
So what
Second
happens
floor
when the,
with tenant. One second,
What?
second floor with tenant with $2,000 lease. Okay, go ahead.
what happens when there is no C of O and the listing agent says something about they wrote a letter of no objection?
That's fine. I mean, you know, let the lawyers figure that out. Let the lawyers handle that out. A letter of no objection is fine also. But for now, like I said, most of the offers, you want to make sure that you check this off, okay?
Okay.
Don't check this off. Look, it says buyer to pay seller's transfer tax. Don't check that off unless you know that for sure and unless your buyer agrees to that for sure. Why would you agree to anything where it says buyer is going to pay something, right? Why would you agree to that? Unless the deal requires it. In fact, Mohammed, the deal with your new construction, you should ask the agent. In a new construction, generally the buyer pays the transfer tax. And this is a new construction. So right now it's fine. Right now you're just showing a house. But once things start to get serious, your buyer wants to make an offer, make sure that you ask the agent. In fact, I mean, you know what? Don't even ask the agent because it doesn't say that here. Don't even ask. Leave it alone. Because if you ask, he might say yes, right? Don't even ask. At this point, just leave it alone, but make sure you don't check off this box. Okay. Now, if offer and terms are accepted by the seller, the buyer agrees to sign the formal contract by no later than, don't put a date. Don't do this. Why not? Don't put September 25, 2021. Instead, put this, 10 days from accepted offer. Why this, not the other? Why not?
Because you need to do the inspection. Inspection will take a couple of days.
Right, because remember, this says 10 days from accepted offer. So whenever the offer is accepted, let's say you send the offer today, but they don't accept the offer for 5 days. Well, you'll have 10 more days from then, right? But if you do this and they don't accept the offer for 5 days, now 5 days are gone and now you only have 5 days to sign the contract. So don't lie, don't put yourself in a corner like that where you are now stuck, right? Don't put yourself in a corner and get stuck. Don't put a date, put a time frame. Say 10 days, within no later than 10 days after accepted offer. Of course, 10 days might be, you know, obviously you don't want to make it too big. You don't want to say like 30 days, right? All right, proposed closing date. Today is September 15. We know that closings roughly take 60 days. What should we put? September 15, October, November 15? Should I put November 15 here?
No.
Why not?
Because you cannot put a certain date. You can put a 45 day or.
Right. Imagine your buyer signs the contract, but the seller doesn't sign it for 3 weeks. Now 3 weeks are gone out of this. You see that? Instead, you should say 45 days after fully signed contract. Whenever you give me a fully signed contract, now we got 45 days. You understand? That's what you've got to do. All right, now buyer and seller recognizes that eXp Realty was the only broker acting as the selling agent. Do you guys know what the word selling agent means? Selling agent means actually buyer's agent.
Yes.
Okay, listing agent means seller agent. Buyer's agent is called a selling agent. And there's a percentage here. The EXP agent submitting this offer is, so you put your name here. Okay, so Wilson Alcantara, like that. Okay, something like this. And then over here it says the brokerage fee, the buyer agent fee is going to be what percent? Well, it's right here at the bottom. You see, buyer agent fee 2%. So you take that and then you put that here. None of these boxes are optional. So don't leave empty boxes and, well, I don't have to fill this one out. No, none of them are optional. So don't leave anything empty. Okay, buyer name, put it here. If you have a second buyer, like a husband or a wife, put it there. Attorney name, put it here. Phone number, email. They should have an attorney before you start going to see houses. Ask them, hey, do you have an attorney that you like to work with? Or would you like me to give you a few recommendations? I want you to figure out who the attorney is going to be right now, because once you like a house, things are going to move fast. And we will not have time for you to do Google searches at that time. So if you want to do your Google searches, if you want to read reviews, if you want to do whatever, now is the time, not later. Okay, attorney name, attorney phone number, attorney email. When everything is done, this is what you do. You go here to print, and then you say save as PDF. You do not need to print, guys. You just click on save as PDF, okay? And then you click on save. And then give it a name. This is how you are going to name it. Offer to purchase, 341 Maple Avenue. Okay, and then you can put the buyer's name. Oh, I put a colon in there. Colon is not going to work. You can put a dash in there if you need to. Offer to purchase, 341 Maple Avenue, Joe Buyer. Now let's go look at it. Let's go look at that document. It'll be right here. There is your offer.
We can't see.
Oh, yep, I got you. Stop share and then new share. Thank you for telling me that. Here's the offer. Okay.
Got it.
So you find you open your document where you save it, right? Yeah.
That's right.
Mhm.
Okay. Now what you do is, the other thing that you do is you download, stop the share and reshare this. I think this. No, not that. Okay. I want to share something, the MLS. Okay. So the other thing you do is you download this MLS. Okay. So what you do is you go here at the bottom. By the way, Mohammed, there is an open house tomorrow, 1 to 3. Okay, so that might be a time that you go, or you can go on Sunday separately. Not tomorrow, I meant Saturday. There's an open house on Saturday. All right, but look, this is the other thing that you do. You go to bottom of the MLS and you click on print. And then you click on agent full. Agent full, and you click on print to PDF.
What does agent full mean?
This, I'll show you right now. This version is called agent full. That means it has the commission in there, it has the agent remarks in there, it has agent name and everything. This is what a client full looks like.
Yeah, when you send this thing, that's what you sent, right?
Emails are always automatically client version. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
You need to sign up for new member orientation with your MLS. They should have emailed you about this, but you need to sign up for new member orientation. You also need to take some Stratus classes. Take at least one Stratus class just so you get an idea what's going on.
Perfect.
All right, but this is what a client version looks like. I'm assuming you can see my screen. There's no commission there. There's no agent remarks there.
Mhm.
But you don't want to download the client version. You want to download the agent version, and you want to also include that in your email when you're making an offer. Why do you want to download this?
There is the complete information of the property, and later on, if the other agent change something, you have proof of everything
That
there.
is right. It's a record, right? So if they go later on and they add this thing about buyer will pay transfer tax, well, no, that wasn't there when we made you the offer.
Mhm.
Imagine they change the commission after you have made the offer to 1.5%. So you want to download the agent version of this listing, okay? Only that listing, not all of them. And do that, okay? Okay, now it's time to type up an email. Now it's time to, so we talked about how to run comparables and how to come up with an offer price. We talked about how to email the comparables to your buyer and give your buyer the analysis. Don't just email them the comparables and hope that they understand. Remember, we talked about gas, oil, attached, detached, brick, non-brick, the fact that it's built in 2021. All of those things matter. So you have to explain it to the buyer, and therefore the buyer will be able to understand why you want them to make an offer that you want them to make. Then I showed you how to type up your offer sheet. Okay, I showed you how to type up your offer sheet. And then lastly, we're now going to talk about how to email an offer. Offer Ellis. Okay. Let's stay with Elizabeth. Let's stay with Ellis. Here's the offer. Look at the subject of my email. Exciting offer for 235 Ellis Avenue. Be excited about it, guys. Excite the other agent to say, hey, you've got something exciting in this email right here, right?
Mhm.
Don't be boring and not excited. Be excited about it and say, hey, exciting offer for 2352. If this agent has 50 emails sitting in her email box and she sees a subject that looks something like this, do you think she's going to open my email? Yeah, right away. She's going to say, let me see what's going on with this one. Right? And then look at the rest of the conversation. Good morning and happy Monday, Suzanne. Happy, exciting, right? I hope you had a great weekend after that massive circus at the open house on Saturday. There really was a big circus. There was like 50 people in the line. I'm the guy who showed the house 2 separate times during the open house, and also the guy who complimented on your beautiful flowery blouse. So remember, she had 50 agents showing houses. Remember that? So I'm telling her, hey, remember that guy? I got to take this call, guys. Give me a second. Okay. So when you have that kind of a open house where the agent has so many, you try and stand out. If the seller's there, by the way, if the seller's there, try and connect with the seller. At least when you're shaking your hand and they're telling you their name, make a note in your mind or make a note in your phone's memo pad what the name of the owners are, and then say it, right? So let me see if I can find another one. Offer Alex. Let me see if I can find another one. Maple. Here's another one. Here's another one. Good morning. Look, exciting offer to purchase 45 Maple Drive. Good morning, Deborah. Thanks again for providing access for my clients, Elizabeth and Alex, yesterday. Elizabeth, who is a school teacher, and Alex, a sanitation worker, love the house and are looking forward to calling it home along with their baby daughter, Angelina. Please find attached our very exciting and over asking offer of 510 with conventional financing. Also attached is our pre-approval letter, which is underwritten after review of their income, assets, credit report, and liabilities. By the way, not all pre-approvals are the same. You guys should know the difference. And tell the other agent, because sometimes the other agent doesn't know the difference between a pre-approval and a pre-qualification. So I tell them, attached is our pre-approval letter, which is underwritten. That's what many mortgage companies offer. After reviewing of their income, assets, credit report, and liabilities, I'm also attaching our proof of funds for your reference. Okay, Deborah, I take a very active approach on all of my transactions, and I will personally make sure that we will keep things moving forward, starting from inspection all the way to closing. I'm attaching a snapshot of what my fellow agents have to say about working with me, and I will make sure that you and your clients will receive a hassle-free experience during the sale. Please discuss this exciting offer with your client and get back to me with great news. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to working with you. Here's the offer. It's an old offer sheet, so don't worry about the old offer sheet. Use the new one that I showed you today. Here's my proof of funds. I'm not going to scroll down on it. Here's the mortgage approval. And then here's a little PDF that I have created. I had these closings. I had a closing with Judy. And Judy says, congratulations, Ismael. It was a pleasure working with you. I had a closing with Gregory, and Gregory says, nice doing business with you. Let's do it again in 2021. I had a closing with Meliza, and Meliza says, my pleasure. I would do it all over again. Here's Nina. Nina says, thanks, Ish. As promised, you are on it. And here's Nina again. She says, you are truly the best. Well, why not attach it? Imagine, I'm going to stop the share. Imagine that other agent has got 2-3 offers, and they're all 620, and they're all $100,000 down payment, and they're all this, and they're all that. But one realtor has screenshot of other realtors saying, man, it's been a great pleasure working with you. Let's do it again. You're amazing, blah, blah, blah. That might be the tipping thing. That might be the thing that tips the scale in my favor. Make sense?
Makes it personable.
I did sell Maple Avenue, by the way. So guys, you want your offer email to be exciting. You want it to be personal. You want it to be professional. You want it to be polite. You don't want it to have spelling mistakes. You don't want it to have numerical calculation mistakes. You don't want it to have pre-approval missing. You don't want it to have proof of funds missing. Remove all the roadblocks from the agent, so the agent says, I like this one. He's got the pre-approval, she's got the proof of fund. She even has screenshots of people that, that loved working with her or with him. Let's go with this one, seller, because remember, at the end of the day, the seller will listen to the agent, right? So be the agent that the other agent pushes your offer off, right? All right. That's it. That's my conversation today about how to come up with an offer amount, how to show it to your buyer, how to fill out the offer sheet, and then how to send the offer to the listing agent. And then last thing, after you email, pick up the phone and call. Emails go in spam boxes. Emails go in a pile. Not in spam, in a regular inbox, but there's like 100 other emails. Pick up the phone and call. Deborah, hi, this is Ish from eXp Realty. I'm just calling to let you know that I sent you an exciting offer to your email for 45 Maple Avenue. Pick up the phone and call. If they don't answer, leave a voicemail and then send a text message. Don't send a text message, pick up the phone and call. But if they don't pick up, leave a voicemail and then send a text message. Hi, Deborah, this is Ishmael from eXp Realty. Just wanted you to know that I sent a very exciting offer for 45 Maple Avenue to your email address. Please let me know you got it. And then follow up next day. Hey, Deborah, I just wanted to see if you had a chance to discuss my offer with your clients. If your offer is not accepted, accept it politely and professionally. Say, oh man, you know what? I'm heartbroken. I know my buyers are going to be heartbroken, but hey, listen, I wish you and your sellers the very best. And if something happens, please come back to me. Let me know. We are ready to move like this. 45 Maple Avenue, we did not get offer accepted, by the way. We lost the offer, 45 Maple Avenue, but it came back to us and I sold the house. So if your offer is not accepted, don't be nasty about it. It's not going to do anything. Don't be upset about it. It's okay to have your heart broken because you were hoping for that transaction. You were hoping for that money. Your buyer was hoping for that beautiful house. We understand. But tell them, hey, oh my gosh, we were so looking forward to that house. It's the perfect house for my buyers and they're definitely going to be heartbroken. Please, if anything changes, call me first. We are ready to jump on this. We will do inspection right away. We will go sign contract right away. And if your offer is accepted, do that. Do right away. Okay, guys, that's it. Any questions, last minute questions before we finish in the next 10 minutes? We'll finish at 8 o'clock. So any questions?
I just want to say thank you for spending 2 hours with us. It was really helpful. So thank you, Ish.
Yeah, very
thank
helpful.
you.
It's a big deal for the new agents like myself.
I'm glad to be of help.
If you have any link about application for grant, I have a client that asked me about. I didn't know what to tell them.
Sorry, what's the question?
I have a client that asked me how she can apply for grant for closing cost.
Where is she buying?
She looking in Connecticut.
You got to talk to some Connecticut lenders. I don't know.
Mhm.
Look up Robert. Robert is in our office. Robert Robinson. He works with NACA, but he's only in New York. But he can maybe connect you with somebody in Connecticut.
Okay, thank you.
I know somebody in New York City, the 5 boroughs. If you have a buyer in New York City who doesn't have a whole lot of income, like 90, 100,000, but they have 40, 50, $60,000 income, they may be able to get a grant for New York City 5 boroughs. Long Island, Westchester is different people. You got to talk to, somebody else.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Any other feedback?
Yes, I have a question, please.
Oh, hello.
I have a client that we put in an offer for and we did an inspection. The inspection came back with new roofs needed, new kitchen, new this, new that. At least a minimum of 50,000 work needs to be done. So I put in a list and asked for them to give us some kind of discount, letting them know that at least it's $50,000 worth of work. They came back saying they're only gonna give us 10,000. My client feels that we need more because she doesn't have that much money to fix up the house. What's your suggestion or advice?
It all depends on a number of factors. What is the work that's needed? What is it really going to cost? How many days is the house in the market? Are there other houses? Are there other choices? It all depends on that. The name of the game is to be a little bit flexible, take a little, give a little, and move forward. You may not get everything, but if you can get some of the major things achieved, accomplished, then why not?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Thank
maybe
you.
Bernadette, you have any questions? I appreciate you guys joining. Attendance is taken for whoever's in my team, Mohammed, Bernadette, Liz, Wilson. We do take attendance, and you showing up to the meeting is what determines if I answer your phone call or not. If you can't come to the meeting, well, then don't expect me to answer your phone call. It's just, you know, because whatever you're calling me for, we probably did that in the meetings. Now,
The question that
life happens. I don't expect you to join 100% of the time. Life happens, right? Emergency and family, but show up 60% of the time, 70% of the time. But if you're somebody who shows up 10% of the time, and now you're calling me 20 times because you need help making an offer, well, we went over offer in one of my meetings. Okay, that's just fair. All right, what's your, Bernadette, you said something?
Yeah, the question is that to have a buyer consultation, you always have to have a pre-approval?
No, not necessarily, but you know, it should be somebody who, the question is, and we've been doing the ring in the morning, guys, and we've been inviting them to meet with us over Zoom, right? You guys, the
Yeah.
new guys should be doing Zooms with everybody. Don't worry about it. Because you need practice, right? But at some point, for me to get on a Zoom with somebody, and my Zoom buyer consultation is 1.5 hours long. The buyer does not have to be pre-approved, but the buyer still have to be qualified, meaning the buyer must be able to get pre-approved. Do they make 30,000 or do they make 90,000? There's a difference. Is their credit score 550 or their credit score 750? There's a difference. I'm not gonna get on an 1.5 hour Zoom with somebody whose credit score is 550 and they're making $30,000 because they're not gonna get a mortgage. They're not going to get pre-approved. So a pre-approval is not necessary for us to have a Zoom, but they must have some sort of qualification so that they will ultimately get pre-approved. For
So,
new guys like Mohammed, Carmine, even Bernadette, you should be getting on Zoom with anybody who wants to get on a Zoom with you, because that allows you to practice. I used to say that before you go to an interview with a job you really want, you should go interview for some jobs that you don't really want. Why? So you can get the experience of interviewing. But imagine you don't go on any interviews for anything, and then you go to an interview for a job that you really want, but you have no practice. Well, now you're going to be fumbling it and you're not going to get it. So get on Zooms with anybody and everybody who wants to get on a Zoom with you, even if they're not qualified, so that when you do have a qualified person, your presentation will be great. But for me, I'm not gonna get on a Zoom with just about anybody because they want to learn about the home buying process unless they really are qualified. They don't have to be pre-approved, but they really have to be able to get pre-approved. Okay, Bernadette?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this past week with the client want to buy a property. So I told them I need paperwork, and when he gave me the paperwork, he telling me I make 200,000 a year, but in paper he doesn't show that much. He showed me 38 a year, and he trying to buy renting a property 4,000 a month. I told him, yeah, it doesn't work. We're gonna step it to the financial institution because you're just not gonna qualify.
Yeah. So, but again, if you haven't really mastered the home buying presentation, don't be rejecting people. Get on the Zooms. Do the Zooms, okay?
but I have a question. So how would you know if a person is qualified, if they don't have a pre-approval?
I mentioned it to you right now. When you're talking to them, you're asking them, hey, what's your income? What kind of job do you do? Imagine somebody says, oh, I'm not working right now. I'm unemployed.
Yeah, makes sense.
Imagine somebody says, my income last year was $20,000. You can't even buy a closet in New York with $20,000 income.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. How much down payment do you have? Oh, you know what? I only have a $500 right now. You don't want to say you're not qualified or you're not worthy of my time or whatever. So you know what? Let me connect you with a lender and let's get you pre-approved. Now the lender's gonna ask the same question. What's your pre-approval? What's your credit score? What's this? What's that? And then the lender's gonna say, hey, at this moment, you're not able to be pre-approved.
But on your hand, you were able to help them connecting to the lender.
Yeah, and then you put them on a back burner because remember, 6 months from now, 12 months from now, this person will be ready to buy a house.
Mhm.
And if you have maintained that relationship, calling them every 2-3 months, sending them a little text message or happy holidays or whatever, when they're ready to buy or sell, they're gonna call you because you've been in touch with them.
Got it.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate all of you and keep joining. Tomorrow is Thursday, I think. Yeah, tomorrow's Thursday. So we'll have our morning buyer objection in the morning as well.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And come with the objections. Come with
Thank
new
you.
objections. Come with willingness to participate. Don't be secret agents on my Zoom. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
By the
Right.
way, I have a question. You said that LM Papa is in the Zillow. Do you want to show where it is?
Not Zillow,
The script? The script?
not Zillow, Trello.
Hello, yeah.
LM Papa or LP Mama, you should be able to go to the search screen and search for it. Here's the search screen. Here's Trello, and just type LM Papa, and it should come up, right? So here, click on this, and it may be in here. First, okay, look right here. It's the first thing. You can't even miss it, right? It's the first thing. LM Papa buyer prospecting. If you don't want to use the search box, just go to where it says buyer training or buyer related trainings. When you click on it, it says LM Papa. Okay.
Okay.
All right. You need to have 1 hour on your calendar every day going through Trello learning. You need to do the basics, guys. You got to do this stuff. Okay. I can tell by the questions that people ask me, I can tell if you've gone through Trello or not. Because if you ask me, how do I order my business card? I know you haven't gone through Trello. How do I get my KV core on my website? I know you didn't go through Trello because I told you in Trello how to get it. 1 hour on your calendar, Trello, and then checklist. Okay, I did this. Okay, I did this. That's it. Okay. Have a good night, guys.
You too.
Thank you.